Good afternoon. It's time for another installment of Ask Maureen. Welcome to the October 2017 edition. And this month, it's in two parts. And I was having a lot of technical difficulties this week. And so that's why it's in two parts, but I'll explain further as we go along. So as you know, you can watch my Facebook Live on Facebook, my photo detective Maureen page. And you can also listen to the Ask Maureen episodes on iTunes for the Ask Maureen podcast, which is very exciting. We've heard from a number of people who are watching the podcast or listening to the podcast as they're driving to work. So it's really nice to hear from people. Now, as you may know or may not know, because you're new to the Ask Maureen platform, if you have a question, you can post it beneath where this is live on my Facebook page, and I will see that question and can push it to the front so that the audience can see your question, and we can answer them live, which is the purpose of live. So this month we have a guest, and she was supposed to be here with me in the Facebook Live segment, but due to technical difficulties, the platform we were using for our interview didn't work very well from where she was. So we pre-recorded that. So you'll be getting a link below the Facebook Live post that will tell you where you can watch the full interview with Beth Forrester of Animoto.com. She weighed in on how to make a video. She watched some of my videos. She has the patience of a saint. And the importance of labeling photos in your production and a whole lot more. So I hope you'll give it a listen when the link posts later today. Today, my intent is to demo Animoto.com and show you clips of a couple of videos that I made. Now, I use Animoto a little bit different. I actually really love the marketing video creator that they have. And I'll show you why in just a second. So here we go. And then I have a question from my inbox and a photo that someone submitted to look at for this Facebook Live. And I hope that person, Barbara Larson, I hope you're listening in so you can ask questions as we go. So let's look at Animoto. And so I created three. There's the Ask Maureen and Beth Forrester video. And here's one I created with the marketing builder. And here's why I love it so much. So I can certainly play it, but I'm going to play a little bit of it for you. And the reason I really like the marketing part of it is that it allows me greater control over what I want to do with it. So yes, as you can see over here, I have Eliza Jane Wilson Taylor, a slideshow, which is in their standard slideshow format. But let's take a look at this. So if I play this for you, what you're going to hear is I was able to take pictures of my grandmother and then lay down a voice track of me talking about her life. I was able to label all the images, and I was able to import a tiny little clip of music that was the music that was played when she was, the year that she was born. And I thought that was a nice little addition. So let's play just a little bit of this. Now, the sound on the audio clip that I downloaded is not the best, unfortunately. That is something I'm going to have to fix, and I'll show you how to do that. But let me do the wind up to this first. My grandmother, Eliza Jane Wilson Taylor, was the only grandparent I knew growing up. All my other grandparents were deceased. And I discovered in the family photo collection that I owned quite a number of images of her. So I put some of them together in this video using Animoto. Here she is, posing as a 2 or 3-year-old in Morton's photo studio in downtown Providence, Rhode Island. Now, I discovered doing some online searching using Google that the song of the year of her birth was Daddy Wouldn't Buy Me a Bow Wow by Vesta Victoria, and I've included a clip of that in the next slide.
I love my little cat, I do. Think of his old home. He comes each day with me to school and sits upon the phone. The teacher says, why do you bring that little cat of yours? I tell her that I bring my cat along with me because Daddy could try me wow, wow, wow.
So let's go to the video page. And I'm going to go back to the main page, which is taking some time. Here we go. So if I click edit video. So as I mentioned, the audio was not the best. So I would like to edit that, which is actually very easy. So even though you save it and produce the content, you can add to it and you can move things around. That's the beauty of Animoto, and that's the beauty of this marketing platform that they have. So maybe I wanted the song to move over here rather before my grandmother's little photograph, because this really is the year of her birth rather than when she's 3. And I was able to incorporate a piece of a census record for the household. I was able to include photographs of members of her family, and I labeled each of these, and it's really easy to label them. So here's one of the labels. Just click on it and it opens, and you can edit the image. You can edit the text. So I had put a caption with this, and there it is. And you can change the size of this. You can change the font color. You can put a subtitle, you can enhance the legibility of it. You can even, here I said you can record, you click this little microphone and I can record a whole new voice track over this, which is really cool. And then it tells you how long each slide is. So basically in this interview with Beth, she talks about the perfect length for a video. We're going to go back here. And then I also use the marketing builder to create little videos for social media. And the length of these videos depends on where you want to put them. Instagram has a particular length that they like, which I think is under a minute. So I created this little video about a building here in Providence, Rhode Island that is on the most endangered property list. You can see that I have manipulated not only the size of the image and what part of the image I get to show, because you can crop. I was able to do some really beautiful titles and tell the history of it. Now I'm going to show you the whole thing. It's only 35 seconds, so bear with me. I had a lot of fun making that video for them. And I think it's a beautiful building. It's stunning. It's on a big parade ground, and it used to be used by the National Guard. So we're going to now go to a question from a viewer. Now, has anybody have any comments yet? I would love to be able to share some comments about using Animoto. As I mentioned, I use the marketing builder more than I use the slideshow. The slideshow comes with less flexibility, but it makes beautiful videos as well. You can upload your pictures and it comes with a soundtrack. And if you listen to my interview with Beth, you'll learn a little bit more about that. She watches, she said, thousands of videos a year, which is amazing. So let's also go to, I'm still sharing my screen. So we're going to go to Barbara Larson. I hope you're out there. Barbara Larson is one of my Facebook friends, and she posted a picture this morning because I said, I still have time for one more question. And she's taken me up on that, and she has posted this photograph of two women. One of them is an aunt with black stockings with a dress just below the knee, and she has naturally curly hair. And they don't know if that's the aunt who died in 1916 at age 22 or her sister who lived until the 1940s. Any help would be appreciated. So Barbara, it looks like you might have two aunts there, and that maybe the woman in the chair is the ill one. Now, we don't know, you didn't actually say what she dies of in 1916, but she's pretty bundled up for what looks like a sort of warm spring day, because the sister behind her is dressed in one of those, almost like a sailor collar type. And actually this woman has, it looks like an apron on as well. If you can see here in the back, she's wearing an apron. So I wonder if you said she is the aunt in the back, but I wonder if she's someone helping with a sick person who is bundled in a blanket and wearing a coat. So this person is getting some fresh air. So the person in the chair may be the aunt who dies in 1916. That would fit the design of the dress. So Barbara, I'm hoping you're out there so you can comment on this, even on my Facebook page, and tell us a little bit more about this. It is, you can see the sunshine on the people. You can see that this woman in the chair looks to be ill. And so it could very well be. You have to add it up. So what's your story? And that's the question. And that's what I'm trying to talk about with the Animoto.com, is telling your story in manageable bits. So you could actually create an entire video just around the aunt who dies at age 22, which had to be a family tragedy. So this is from Barbara Larson. She thinks the woman standing in the back is the aunt that has black stockings with a dress below the knees. I mentioned that this woman is wearing an apron of some sort, so I wonder if she's a caretaker as well, if she is one of the aunts or just another caretaker that's been brought in by the family. And the woman in the chair does look quite ill. She's dressed up, bundled up in a heavy jacket, and a blanket wrapped all around her, sitting in this chair to get some fresh air. So I said it could be the woman, the aunt who dies in 1916 at age 22, could be the woman in the chair rather than the woman standing behind. We don't know. It would take a little more digging to figure out who's who. I'd need to look at the family history, because the clues in a photograph are not just the clues in the picture. It's what you bring into the picture identification problem from all of your research as well. So Barbara, thank you very much for sharing this photograph, and I'd love to hear more about the story of the woman who dies in 1916. So I hope you'll share that, and maybe you'll even make an Animoto video out of it. The question today, or this week, from a listener was, can you scan a tintype? The answer is yes. And you actually want to scan the tintype, because a tintype, you know, it's an original photograph, of course, and it's on metal, and they have a tendency to rust. And so when you scan these pictures, you're actually creating a preservation backup of these pictures. The Library of Congress says scan at 1200 DPI as a TIFF file for a preservation quality scan. You can scan at 600 DPI, whatever you can do on your scanner, but you want to make sure you scan as a TIFF file. And the thing is, having all these scans of your precious family photographs is great, because just in case, as we have seen this year, there's been extreme weather events here in this country. There have been wildfires out west. You just never know what's going to happen. So by scanning them and then saving them to an external hard drive so that you can pick that up and go, or using an online backup system like Mozy or iCloud. Everything I have is backed up to iCloud. You can save those images, and maybe you lose the originals due to something outside your control, but you will still have a scan of that picture so that you don't lose that piece of your family history. So, what story do you want to tell with your Animoto.com video or your family history? Please let me know. Send me an email, respond through my website, respond to this Facebook Live. sign up for my newsletter so that you get my November download, which is my favorite mobile apps. And I have a new one that I just saw today. And just because Animoto is such a great company, they offered listeners to my program a coupon code for 20% off. If you use this coupon code, PHOTO20, all lowercase, to order something on Animoto.com, either the slideshow or the marketing thing that I demoed today, this coupon works for 20% off either product. So I want to thank you for joining me. I hope you'll listen to my interview with Beth. We really struggled to get it all down. We made 3 or 4 tries, and these things happen. It is the nature of the technology sector. And please sign up for my newsletter, and I'll see you next month in November for another installment of Ask Maureen. Watch my Facebook page for the announcement of when it will be, but it's always at 1 o'clock. Thank you so much.